The Somerton Man. In the early hours of December 1st, 1948, the body of a well-dressed man was found lying against the sea wall at Somerton Beach, just outside Adelaide, Australia. It was summer. The air was warm. The sea calm. He appeared, at first glance, to be asleep. His head rested against the stone embankment. His legs were stretched out. One arm lay across his body, the other at his side. There were no signs of disturbance in the sand, no indication of a struggle. Several witnesses had seen him the evening before. One couple noticed the man around 7 p.m, lying in roughly the same position. They assumed he was drunk. At one point, they saw him raise his arm slightly, then let it fall. They thought nothing of it. By morning, he was dead. The man was estimated to be in his early 40s. He was clean-shaven, well-built, in good physical condition. His clothing was neat and formal: a white shirt, tie, brown trousers, polished shoes. Oddly, he wore no hat, despite the heat and social norms of the era. There were no visible injuries, no sign of violence. The autopsy revealed congestion of the organs, an enlarged spleen, and blood in the stomach. These findings suggested poisoning. Yet, toxicology tests found no identifiable poison. Nothing detectable with the methods available in 1948. The cause of death was recorded as unknown, but strongly suspected to be poisoning by a substance that left no trace. As investigators examined his clothing, they made an unusual discovery. Every label had been removed. From his tie, his trousers, his jacket, even his underwear. The brand names were cut away with precision. There was no wallet, no identification, no papers. In his pocket were ordinary items: a railway ticket to Henley Beach, a bus ticket that had not been used, a packet of chewing gum, matches, and a half-empty packet of cigarettes containing a different, more expensive brand than the box suggested. Small inconsistencies, quiet details, but no name. Months later, A further search of the man's clothing revealed something extraordinary. Inside the waistband of his trousers was a tiny, carefully sewn pocket. It had not been part of the original garment. It had been added deliberately. Inside that hidden pocket was a small, tightly rolled piece of paper. On it were 2 printed words: TAMAM SHUD. The phrase is Persian. It means, "It is finished." The words had been torn from the final page of a book. The book was soon identified as the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam, a collection of 12th century Persian poetry reflecting on fate, time, and mortality. Why would a man carry those words concealed in a pocket? Public appeals were issued. Weeks later, a man came forward. He had found a copy of the book in the back seat of his unlocked car, parked near Somerton Beach, on the night the body was discovered. The final page, containing those words, had been torn out. Inside the book were 2 things of immense significance: a phone number and a sequence of letters written in faint pencil. The pencil text appeared to be a code. 5 lines of capital letters. No obvious pattern, no punctuation. Some letters were crossed out. Experts in cryptography examined it. Military codebreakers reviewed it. Amateurs tried for decades. No one definitively solved it. Some believed it was a simple cipher. Others suggested it was not a code at all, but shorthand or initials or something intensely personal. The possibility that it concealed intelligence information lingered, but no proof emerged. The phone number in the book led to a young nurse who lived just a short distance from where the body was found. She denied knowing the man, but witnesses later described her reaction as unusual. When shown a plaster cast of a dead man's face, she appeared shocked, nearly fainting. She admitted she had once given a copy of the Rubaiyat to a lieutenant during the war, That lieutenant could not be linked to the body. She maintained she did not know the dead man. Her identity was withheld from the public. To this day, she is known only by the pseudonym Justin. Some believe she knew more than she revealed. The late 1940s were tense. The Cold War was emerging. Australia conducted weapons testing not far from Adelaide. Foreign agents operated quietly across continents. An unidentified man, multilingual, with labels removed, a hidden pocket, a cryptic code, the ingredients for espionage were present. Yet there was no concrete evidence of spycraft, only patterns that seemed to align. At the Adelaide railway station, police located a suitcase checked into the cloakroom the day before the body was found. It likely belonged to the Somerton Man. Inside were clothes, again with labels removed. There was a stenciling kit, thread matching repairs to his trousers, and a coat unsuitable for the Australian summer. One label remained partially intact. The name T. Keane, but no missing person by that name matched the man. The name led nowhere. His dental records were unusual. Two rare anatomical features were noted: an uncommon ear shape and distinctive calf muscles, suggesting he wore pointed shoes frequently. Possibly a dancer, or someone accustomed to formal footwear. No dental match was ever found. His fingerprints were circulated internationally. No result. It was as though he did not exist in any official record. With no identification, the man was buried in West Terrace Cemetery in 1949. A simple headstone was placed. It read, "Here lies the unknown man found at Somerton Beach." The words "TAMAM SHUD" were added below. For decades, visitors left flowers. Some claimed to feel the strange presence at the grave, a mystery with no beginning and no end. In recent years, renewed investigations applied modern forensic methods. Exhumation was authorized, DNA extracted, genealogical databases examined, and possible relatives identified. The results suggested a man with connections to the United States. But even with advanced technology, uncertainty remained. Records conflicted, timelines blurred, definitive proof proved elusive. Some argue the words "TAMAM SHUD" imply suicide, a poetic farewell. Others suggest assassination, a toxin undetectable at the time, a coded message destroyed, a witness who remained silent. There are no defensive wounds, no clear motive, no confession, only absence. The Somerton Man arrived at a beach one summer evening and left behind one of the 20th century's most enduring mysteries. No name, no nation, no past, only 2 words torn from a book. It is finished. Perhaps it was, or perhaps it was only the beginning of a puzzle that refuses to resolve. The tide still moves across Somerton Beach. The sea wall remains, and somewhere in the silence between the waves, the unanswered question lingers. Who was he? And why was he there?